Welcome to Chatting the Pictures. My name is Cara Finnegan, and I'm a writer, teacher, and historian of photography.
And I'm Michael Shaw. I'm a writer, a psychologist, and also the publisher of Reading the Pictures.
Minneapolis-St. Paul has been a focal point for protest, as well as demands for racial justice and police reform, since the killing of George Floyd by ex-officer Derek Chauvin in May 2020. Photojournalists have produced a powerful body of imagery there, including this photo addressing the themes of power and place.
This photo was taken by John Minchillo for the Associated Press. It shows protesters and residents watching as police in riot gear walk down a residential street in St. Paul on May 28, 2020. It is particularly relevant with the Derek Chauvin trial underway, the fact a prominent new killing has roiled Minneapolis again this week, and because the photo is a finalist in this week's World Press Photo Awards.
The theme here really is juxtapositions. You've got the police geared up on the sidewalk, moving actively down the street, while the citizens at home are dressed casually, they're observing. Also notice that a couple of them are recording the police as they go by the house. You've also got a multiracial group at the house, and the police, it does not appear that they are a diverse group. I also really notice in terms of juxtapositions that contrast between, again, the kind of structured institutional formality of the state, the police gear, and the space of the citizen's house, a well-kept, landscaped yard in a comfortable neighborhood.
It seems that it's now a standard reflex to start a video when the police come around if you are in any type of situation or neighborhood at a protest. So this seems quite characteristic, that move. Also, I really do appreciate the emotional tone, the stares, the more casual body language, as opposed to that foreboding nature of the police. One thing I admire about this photograph is how much it documents that perpetual problem of escalation and threat of violence, even in what's quite a neutral situation.
Minchillo made a number of compelling news images in the Twin Cities, and if you compare those very dramatic images of the police station being set on fire, protesters coming out in droves for racial justice, if you compare those images to this image reads more metaphorically, doesn't it? As you said, it's about power and place, and months later, it kind of condenses, as you said, that ongoing relationship between citizens and police, and particularly citizens of color. To a large extent, I think this image says, we're watching you, we're keeping an eye on you as citizens, and yet the threat is still there. Minchillo made another image at precisely this same moment, catching the St. Paul police crossing in front of the house with these folks outside. And that image is interestingly different. The young man on the right in the hat with the mask and the white t-shirt, he still maintains that same stance with his arms kind of behind his back. The man next to him with the cell phone wearing the black sweatshirt, in that photograph, he's almost standing at military attention with his hands in front of him. And what strikes me about that and the difference between the two photographs is the extent to which the two black men in this photograph, at least for the split second that Minchillo is making the picture, seem to be standing in such a way as to suggest that they are paying attention, but that they are also unarmed. So the image also highlights, and this image speaks to it too, the extent to which black men in particular are justifiably fearful of police and also especially vulnerable.
From the first time I saw this photograph, and that's almost a year ago, I have found it one of the most important protest and civil rights images I've seen. And I think the reason for that is because it serves as a kind of corrective or a rejoinder to too many photographs of police imposing themselves and exerting their authority in public space and in neighborhoods, especially ones that are highly diverse or majority people of color. In this photograph, with the police in the street and these people outside a home, it really lays down and establishes who has rights, who has ownership, who belongs, and who is the other.